We're going to be discussing Apple Carplay as well as Android Auto. And this is how you'll be able to learn to use your phone safely while you're driving. The purpose of this webinar is to teach you how to drive safely while staying connected. As driving requires a lot of focus and caution, and because of this, it's incredibly important to always pay attention to the road while you're behind the wheel. Companies such as Apple and Google, as well as independent vehicle companies, have developed programs to allow drivers to easily answer calls, access directions, and even listen to podcasts, music, and audiobooks while driving without compromising you or anybody else on the road's safety. As such, we will be discussing two programs. Firstly, Apple CarPlay if you have an iOS device, and Android Auto for Androids. Some information on Apple CarPlay. This program first premiered in 2014 and has developed and evolved over the years. It has become more accessible and also more compatible with multiple different car models. Secondly, Android Auto. This company was first revealed in 2014, but it was only released in 2015. During the winter of 2020, Google announced that Android Auto would be expanding to 36 additional countries from the first initial ones that they had it available in. And in April 2021, Android Auto launched in countries such as Belgium, Denmark, the Netherlands, Norway, Portugal, and Sweden. So it's really grown and it's expanding across the entire world. But first, we're going to go into more detail about Apple CarPlay. You may be wondering, what exactly is Apple CarPlay? And this is a program that allows users to access everything on their phone from the tips of their fingers in the dashboard of their car. The only features that are available on Apple CarPlay are those on your iPhone that allow you to drive on the road safely. Every major automobile manufacturer has partnered up with Apple CarPlay. So now there are even more than 600 models to choose from. So if you're buying a new car, the likelihood that it has compatibility with Apple CarPlay is extremely high. With the select few new 2021 car models, you can now use your phone to unlock your car as well. So these phones have become extremely useful when it comes to driving. Now, there are some main features of Apple CarPlay. Firstly, you can safely use your phone while you're in the car. This includes making calls, sending and receiving messages, listening to music, and even getting step-by-step directions, including ones that speak aloud to you. You can also use Siri, which means that you can use your voice to command her to do things such as make calls, listen to any voicemails you may have, send audio message, stream your favorite songs. All you have to do is ask Siri. Apple Maps, which is very helpful for directions, is also available with Apple CarPlay. So it can predict where you are going based on texts, emails, contacts, and calendars, and then it will direct you to that location. Furthermore, Apple CarPlay is designed for driving scenarios. For example, it will work with your car controls, knobs, buttons, touchpads, and touchscreens. So it's very much incorporated into the system of your car. You can also share digital car keys with family, and these work for up to 5 hours. Now we're going to go over how to actually set up Apple CarPlay so that you can use it yourself. Firstly, you want to make sure that your country or region supports Apple CarPlay and that the model of your car also supports the program. If not, you want to contact the vehicle manufacturer. So for the step-by-step process, firstly, you want to start your car and also make sure that Siri is enabled on your iPhone. Then you want to connect your phone to your car. You may use a USB cable, so you would plug your iPhone into the USB port of the car. It may be labeled with a CarPlay icon or a smartphone icon, so look for that when you're trying to find the port. And if your car supports wireless CarPlay, then you want to press and hold the voice command button on your steering wheel. Then make sure your stereo is in wireless or Bluetooth mode. And then on your iPhone, you want to go to Settings, then to General, and then to Carplay. From there, tap Available Cars and select the car that you're currently in. Check your car manual for more information on the car itself. Now we're going to go through how to use Siri with Apple CarPlay. Depending on the car that you have, there are two main ways you can use Siri to control CarPlay. Firstly, you can press and hold the voice command button on your steering wheel, and then ask Siri a question if you want her to do something. For example, this screenshot is taken from a car, and it's a voice command button that you would want to click on. Secondly, touch and hold the CarPlay dashboard or CarPlay home button on your touchscreen. Then Siri will pop up and you'll be able to ask her a question or give a command. Siri also makes suggestions in Apple CarPlay for what you may want to do next, such as driving to your next meeting. Siri suggestions and CarPlay work seamlessly and incorporated into one another to keep your favorite apps at your fingertips. Also, if you have HomeKit enabled accessories, such as a garage door opener, you can even use the Siri suggestions that appear on the CarPlay dashboard, or even ask her to do things such as open the garage door when you get close to your home. You may be wondering what apps are available to you on Apple CarPlay. While you are using the system, the display in your car will show your available applications. To add, remove, or rearrange any of these apps on your iPhone, you want to go to Settings, then go to General, and then go to CarPlay. Then you will select your car and tap Customize. From there, you can use the Add or Delete buttons to add or remove applications. You will tap and drag an app to change the order of the apps that appear on your dashboard. So then, the next time that you connect your iPhone to CarPlay, the new order of your apps should appear on the display. And it's very important to note that only applications that are supported by CarPlay will appear on your dashboard. For example, you will not be able to play games on the screen or do other distracting tasks. It's mainly used for music, maps, and communication such as phone calls and text messages. Here is a step-by-step process of how to get to CarPlay. So firstly, you want to go into Settings, which is highlighted here, then into General, and then into CarPlay. Now we're going to move on to the second segment of the presentation, which is Android Auto, which is a very similar program to Apple CarPlay, but for Android devices. Firstly, what is Android Auto? This program allows you to connect your phone to your car display, and also your downloaded mobile apps will appear on the screen so that you can access them when you're in your car. There are some great features of Android Auto, including allowing you to tap to get directions, you can talk to send a text, and you can even do hands-free calling. Additionally, with Google Assistant, which is on Android Auto, you can keep your eyes on the road and hands on the wheel while you're using these functions. You're also able to receive real-time alerts on your favorite mapping apps. For example, if you want to be informed of accidents, construction, or traffic, you just say where you want to go and it will take you there. Also, Google Assistant can even read out your texts so you can reply by talking rather than having to go onto your phone and typing. You can also make calls and use chat apps just by using your voice so that driving is not distracting. You'll be looking directly at the road throughout the entire process, but you will be able to communicate with others. And also, one of my favorite features is that you can play your favorite playlists or listen to an audiobook if that's something you enjoy doing as you're driving. Now we're going to go over how to actually get started with Android Auto. You want to make sure that your phone meets the minimum requirements. Also, make sure your car is compatible with Android Auto and that your phone has a strong and fast cellular data connection. Similar to Apple CarPlay, there are two different ways to connect Android Auto onto your car display, via both USB cables or Bluetooth. How to set up Android Auto with a USB cable. Prior to connecting your phone for the very first time, you want to make sure that your car is actually turned on. And also make sure that your car is in park and allow time for the Android Auto to set up before you start driving. The first step is to plug in a USB cable to the vehicle's USB port, and then plug the other end of the cable into your own Android phone. Then your phone may ask you to download the free Android Auto application or update to the newest version of the app. This app is very important to using Android Auto, so make sure you have it downloaded on your device. Then you want to follow the on-screen instructions to complete the setup process. And an important note is that this is what the app logo looks like, so when you're downloading it or updating it, make sure it's this particular logo. Then, to set up your phone with Bluetooth, make sure your phone's Bluetooth is turned on automatically when Android Auto is connected to the car via USB. Then, on your car display, you want to select Android Auto, and then you can follow the directions on the screen to set it up. Here's an example of what a car display may look like. Now we're going to go over some information on the car's display. An important thing to note is that the first time you connect your phone to the car, you will be required to pair your iPhone via Bluetooth. For best results, keep Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and location services turned on while you're setting up Android Auto. Also, make sure that your car is in park and allow time to set up Android Auto before you start your driving to ensure that you're not distracted as you're driving. Firstly, plug a USB cable into your vehicle's USB port and the other end into your phone. You may have to this is a repeat from the previous slide just to ensure that the information gets across. So your phone may ask you to download the Android app, so you want to make sure that it's downloaded, and also then just follow the instructions on the screen to complete the setup. It's important to note that your wireless connection may take a few seconds to start, and you may need to tap Android Auto on your car display in order to enable it. And if you want to stop using Android Auto wirelessly, then on your phone notification screen, then tap Exit Driving Mode. Android Auto on your phone screen. Make sure that your phone uses Android 6.0 and above. For the best performance, the latest version of Android is recommended. And if you use Android 9 or lower, download the Android Auto app from the Google Play Store. Then make sure that your phone has a strong and fast network connection. It is recommended to use Android Auto for the first time within the Wi-Fi range for the best installation process. On Android 9 or below, you want to open up Android Auto, and on Android 10, open Android Auto for phone screens. Then follow all of the on-screen instructions to complete the setup, and if your phone is already paired with your car or mounts Bluetooth, then select the device to enable auto launch for Android Auto. Now, there are some pros and cons of this program. Firstly, it's great for navigating and getting to where you want to go. You can also answer phone calls and stream music, which is a great feature. Also, whatever you have open on your phone will be open on the car's display, and it's a safe way to use your phone while you're on the road. Also, there are some cons. You can listen to the radio while using Carplay, but you cannot change the radio station. So if you're someone who likes to move between stations, this will be difficult for you to do if you're using Carplay. There are sometimes occasional bugs. You do need data to run certain applications, and some apps are not compatible with Carplay or Android Auto because they're not suitable to use while you're driving. Now, you may be wondering the costs. So Carplay and Android Auto do not cost you anything in terms of additional costs. However, when you're using maps, audiobooks, or even Spotify, you may need to use your phone's data. And depending on your cellular data, there may be data limits that cost you money. Also, Carplay comes with the cost of some car models, so before you buy a car, you may want to ask if it's compatible with Apple CarPlay and/or Android Auto. Now, we do have some general safety tips. Firstly, when possible, start up your maps before you start driving so that you can input your destination before you're out on the road. If you want greater listening ease, create a driving playlist beforehand of your favorite songs to listen to while you're driving so that you can quickly start the playlist and don't have to worry about skipping over songs or selecting additional songs as you're driving. You can also ask somebody in the passenger seat to operate the controls instead to ensure that you're not distracted. Also, only ever take your eyes off the road for a couple seconds at a time, and ideally when you're stopped at a stop sign or traffic light. I think many of us know this from driving school, but these are just some additional tips to think about. And if you're in a situation where you really need to pay attention, turn the volume down or off. The first thing that comes when you're driving is your own safety rather than trying to fix your CarPlay or Android Auto. Also, always pay attention to speed limits and driving conditions, other vehicles, pedestrians, and cyclists, and never look down at your phone or use it to text or call when driving. This is very illegal and can cause dangerous accidents. And always remember that safety comes first. If you are someone who is unfamiliar with or anxious about using Android Auto or CarPlay, especially on top of any anxieties you may have with driving, these programs may not be for you, and this is completely okay. Remember to always pay attention to the road and prioritize your comfort level and safety at all times. If you want to focus on an important call, you can always pull over or take a break.